When it comes to RPGs, look no further than the skill system if you hope to gain an edge. And in Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, there are two skill systems worth talking about. My name is Kodiak, this is Legacy Gaming, and today we're diving into the world of Pandora and sharing our take on the best skills in the game. First up, let's make sure we're all on the same page with how skills are acquired. As I mentioned just seconds ago, there are two skill systems in the game, and they both function independently of one another. Let's start with the major system, Ancestor Skills. These reward you with powerful augmentations and sometimes entirely new abilities and have a profound impact on your gameplay experience. To unlock Ancestor Skills, you must find Tarsu plants around Pandora. From a macro level, these are pretty easy to find as they're revealed on the world map and can even be identified through the game's Fog of War. Once you get to the general area, it's best to use your Navi senses to locate the Tarsu plant, as they're often located just out of sight. Here's the kicker. Each Tarsu plant is tied to a specific Ancestor skill, which means no allocating points and a very thoughtful process for unlocking the skills that fit your playstyle. More on this shortly. The other skill system is a bit more traditional in nature, but still manages to provide some value. Instead of finding Tarsu plants, you can and should hunt down Tarsu saplings. These are also marked on your map, but only after you've cleared the Fog of War by exploring an area. Once in the general vicinity of a Tarsu sapling, the same rules apply. Use your Navi sense to quickly locate the plant and claim its reward. For each Tarsu sapling you find, you'll gain one skill point, and those points can be then allocated into a traditional skill tree system. There are 5 trees players have access to: Memories of the Survivor, Memories of the Warrior, Memories of the Hunter, Memories of the Maker, and Memories of the Rider. Across the 5 trees, we're talking about dozens of skills, and while some are rather boring, there's a good many of them that provide solid enhancements to your power level or provide some much needed quality of life. Again, more on this in just a little bit. Both Tarsu plants and saplings are an integral part of the Avatar progression system, so with that in mind, let's explore some of the skills we think are worth acquiring early. If there's one Ancestor skill we think everyone needs to pick up as soon as possible, it's Eject. In fact, we talk about this skill in our Wish I Knew Sooner tips and tricks video because it's just that powerful. Once Eject is unlocked, your Navi will now have the ability to rip pilots out of amp suits so long as they're stunned. Considering that amp soldiers are some of the most deadly in the game, this is an instantaneous way to remove a serious threat from the field. I'd say this is a must-get skill, and to unlock Eject, you need to find the Tarsu plant southeast of the Aranahe clan home tree. Another incredible early game Ancestor skill is Soft Landing, which cuts your fall damage in half if you hit the crouch button right before landing. Considering the fact that you move across and over Pandora at a pace much quicker than a human, it's nice to have a safety net when things get off the rails, and you take that idea of a leap of faith a bit too far. Soft Landing can be found around the middle of Gossamer Lakes, the area northwest of the Aranahe clan home tree. Now that's about it for the Tier 1 Ancestor skills, which can both be found in the first zone of the game, the Kinglar Forest. Where Ancestor skills really start to pop off is in Tier 2, which are all unlocked in the Upper Plains region. Honestly, every single Ancestor skill within this tier is useful, so let's talk about them. Way of the Diplomat further boosts your favor gain from all quests and activities. More favor means more items that you can purchase from the various clans. To unlock Way of the Diplomat, you need to find the Tarsu plant located here. Ghost Strike gives your stealth attacks a massive 30% damage boost, which can mean the difference between detonating an amp weak spot or simply alerting them to your presence. To unlock Ghost Strike, you need to find the Tarsu plant here. Wing Gust quite literally turns your Ikran into a weapon of war. By landing aggressively in front of a unit, you won't just knock them down, you will straight up kill them, even veteran amp suits. Sure, it's really only on an engagement maneuver, but it's a free kill, and if used properly, a huge one. To unlock Wing Gust, you need to find the Tarsu plant here. Sticking with Ikran skills, Screech gives your mount the ability to disorient and damage aerial units, allowing you to kill them instantly if you have one of the companion skills unlocked. It's a 1-2 punch that ultimately saves you special ammunition. To unlock Screech, you'll need to find the Tarsu plant located here. Finally, there's Reconnaissance, which lets you see the patrol paths of enemies, and while that might not seem like a big deal at first, when you're dealing with large camps, strongholds, or even stealth missions later on in the game, this upgrade will make your life infinitely better. There's one final Ancestor skill worth pointing out, and it's unlocked in the third and final major zone of the game. It's called free fast travel, and this is a big deal. Up until this point, every time you need to fast travel, you'll spend 20% of your energy, meaning you'll have to consume way more food than you otherwise would. If you've been unlocking fast travel points like we suggested in our Wish I Knew Sooner video, then this Ancestor skill will let you reap the benefits come the end game. You can unlock free fast travel by finding the Tarsu plant located here. As we mentioned before, traditional skills also play a huge part in your progression throughout Frontiers of Pandora. And while each skill tree brings something unique to the table, when you're allocating skill points, it's worth making your choices with confidence. So long as you're doing all of the side content, you will eventually be able to unlock all of the skills within each skill tree. When you complete a tree, you'll also unlock an apex skill, which further increases your power level and capabilities. With all that in mind, where you invest your early points will make a difference. So let's look at the trees. Memories of the Survivor is a skill tree we largely ignored because we chose to lean into stealth gameplay. We also went out of our way to collect most of the bell sprigs, which maximized our health. If you were, however, going the more direct combat approach, the massive boost to HP, extra healing consumables, and the apex skill where Second Wind revives you when downed can be huge. Memories of the Warrior is a skill tree we straight up maxed out as soon as possible. Overall, there are just a ton of damage augmentations and for various weapon specializations. This skill tree also gives you access to a fourth weapon slot, which, trust me, is massive during those larger combat encounters. Additionally, the apex skill allows your bow shots or spears a chance to disorient the target. This can save you in a pinch or set you up for a powerful follow-up attack, like ejecting an ant pilot or going after a weak spot. Memories of the Hunter is an okay skill tree, but we really only went for the bottom set of 3 perks. This makes you harder to detect while crouching and speeds up your crouch walk, gives you a 25% damage increase to wildlife with bows or spears, and increases the damage of all weak spot hits by 25%. Then there's the Memories of the Maker skill tree. We found this to be much more useful during the second half of the game, as we were constantly churning through ammunition or burning through crafting materials mid-combat to replenish the ammo we were missing. Crafting is also the most direct route to the best gear in the game, so being able to lean into crafting and gathering better and higher tier ingredients in larger quantities can be essential. That being said, the skills we leaned into during progression were Expert Forager to expand bag space while traveling, and Expert Ammunition Crafter, which doubles the amount of base ammunition you can craft at once. Finally, there's Memories of the Rider. I found this skill tree to be essential for mounted traversal and combat. Aerial fishing allows your Ikran to replenish its energy by eating fish just by flying over clean sources of water. This is great, and I'll admit it got really annoying constantly having to open the food menu to feed my Ikran, especially during combat. On the other hand, barrel roll is critical to avoiding gunfire, missiles, and even other aerial predators, while flying takedown turns RDA Samsons into an absolute joke of a unit, if you can stagger them first. So there you have it, some insight into the important skills you should consider unlocking early in Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. Of course, if you found this video helpful, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up and consider subscribing. You can also join us on Discord if you want to hang out with the team, talk about great games, and enter for your chance to win tons of free giveaways going on all the time. That link, as always, is below. My name is Kodiak, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.